All right, so we're gonna start off our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball.
All right, so we're gonna try to keep this short and sweet as much as we can. We're going to, we have a dead stop today by 10:30, nothing longer than that. So if we get there and we haven't finished everything, we'll pick up at the next meeting.
Excellent.
All right, we're gonna try to keep that going where I'd like to make it, so eventually we're only at an hour and that's it. We have other things we wanna do every day, right? All right, so the first thing I wanna do, I met with the selectmen, and one of the things that they really wanted us to do is they wanted us to add 2 more positions within the committee, our board. One of them is a secretary. So we wanted to see if somebody was willing and interested and kind of maybe also nominate someone for that position. To be the secretary, to just kind of keep notes to help, bring back for every meeting. Obviously, the meeting minutes I'll take care of anyways, but it would be to go over all of the notes and whatnot from previous meetings so that we always have it. I was kind of looking to nominate Jen myself.
As a secretary?
We can nominate Laurie. She's not here.
Best gift ever. I know, secretary.
That was funny.
And so who's interested in being the secretary, I guess I could say?
My only concern is I may not be at every single meeting because of my schedule, so.
I'll do it.
Hope, no?
I don't think I'm a good idea, Chris.
Okay.
She's got a lot on her plate already.
Okay. I just think if I miss something, it's going to be misconstrued.
Yeah.
I'm just not the point person on that front.
I'm not good at that stuff.
Chris?
I nominate Laurie.
Oh, yeah, she's not here.
Not here.
I'll do it.
Do you want it or no? Otherwise, Crystal can do it.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
You see how that works.
Can we get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Third, yep.
I was hoping nobody would say yes. I'm like, don't say yes.
Okay. The other one is a treasurer. They suggested a treasurer, but the contemplation with the treasurer is, and they pointed this out, is as the director, I am the treasurer because I work with our treasurer. So the only thing the treasurer would really be is to be another point person to be able to speak on behalf of what were the funds that we raised for revenue, what did we have for the expenses that week or couple weeks, just to kind of let everybody know. Is there some, and that would be numbers that I could provide everybody, or I could provide you as the treasurer to be able to speak on as well.
Was the treasurer help you program a budget for the following year as well?
That's what I want the entire board to help with.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because I have started doing a budget for the board for next year, and I meant to bring it with me, but I figured I'd bring it to the next meeting instead, since we were trying to.
Okay.
So is there somebody that would be interested in that, or does that not sound like something that we need, or what is your thoughts? Because
I mean, if you're not gonna be at a selectmen's meeting, any one of us can step in for you. So I think, I don't know that we really.
Because you're feeding us the information
Yeah.
anyways. It's not like we're
Right.
verifying. Or,
So I'm happy to step in for you on a Wednesday night if you've got something. I'm happy
Okay.
to do it. I think any of us would be willing to just step in with your notes and give the same numbers that you're gonna give anyway.
okay, so kind of a void
I mean-
topic that we don't.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean,
if it's
You
just
are-
to give the update to the Board of Selectmen, then.
yeah.
Well, I think it's more to, it's like when we have our meetings here, it would be the same numbers that we have coming up. It would be, you would be the one that, whoever was doing it would be the one that would presented it, not just me.
Right.
But it's, yeah, it's all the same numbers that are on here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Secretary desk.
So kind of a void thing, you think?
Yeah, I, like I said, I think
Okay.
any one of us on any given Wednesday are available,
Okay,
to come and, do it for you.
okay, so I'll put, perfect. And then I wanted to kind of go over group expectations. We've had a lot going on. We've had a lot that ends up going personal, and we don't want that. I have, a strong feeling that this board is and can be absolutely amazing if we all work together. We all have so much to offer, so much in regards to various backgrounds, that I would love to see everybody come together and make us stronger, instead of batting heads against each other. So what I'd like to do is start kind of with a fresh slate, so that we can, start here, move forward. No more group text messaging at all. We're supposed to be a completely transparent group, so we want anything that we're doing together is either going to be at an event or here in front of the camera, so that everybody is around us and they can see what we're doing and what we're talking about. If anybody has any, and this also includes myself, don't think that I'm above anything. If anybody has any questions, concerns of anything that is said or done, to reach out directly to me, and then we can resolve it that way. And if we need to bring it to the selectmen, we absolutely can. We want to make sure that, the board works more together, that we don't bat heads, and again, we're not all going to be on the same page for everything, but we're going to try to work through that.
Yeah, I think it's all based on communication, and I think meeting more often is the way to go.
Perfect.
Just so things aren't misinterpreted.
Perfect, and one of the things with the meeting more often is what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to meet like every 2 weeks. So we're going to try to meet one weekday and then one Sunday. One weekday, one Sunday, one weekday, one Sunday. If everybody can't be here on a weekday, but that person can be here on the Sunday, fantastic, as long as we can have the majority of the board, or even one person per household, kind of, to see how things, so that way we can still meet. If it's one person per household, at least the notes are still gonna get back to the other person.
Sounds good.
So with that.
Communicate.
Most of the time. Not gonna go there.
Sometimes I learn from other places.
I'm very good at
Yes. Very good.
So with that, is there a weekday that, aside from Wednesdays, is there a weekday, what is the earliest on a weekday that some people could meet?
I have to check my schedule.
Well, you are busy because you do a lot of the coaching and that with TJ.
Yeah, I think Mondays are, because usually practice is Thursday, right?
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Oh,
Thursday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday and Thursday for
Thursday.
And
us.
Thursday, Tuesday
I'm
for
usually
me.
gone on Wednesday, Thursday, so
Well,
Mondays
Monday's
might be
fine.
good.
But
I mean, it's year end for me, so generally speaking, any day is fine for me, but there will be days when
it'd just be,
I know
today it was supposed to be her, but our
I'm
company
in
left.
traffic or not able to.
Oh,
be here.
She was gonna,
As far as earliest time,
Yeah.
like, in the day, I think 5 or 4:30. I'm good anytime, but I'm gonna go off her schedule so we can come as a pair.
5 would probably be good.
okay,
It's not too late,
yeah.
not too early.
Do 5?
I wouldn't be able to be here Mondays at 5
Okay.
with counseling.
I won't be able to come on Mondays either, but I will have the notes for you guys. I don't have anybody to watch them.
I think Friday is an okay day for you too.
It is, yeah. Fridays are.
Don't do it because of me.
Well, no, we're trying to look at everybody.
Yeah.
People
We have 2
already
people that can't.
Make it
Yeah.
a given day, so I think
Any
we
day,
should.
anytime, so.
Okay. So the only thing that we'll have to keep in mind is when we come to the sports, if we have anything going on Fridays, we'll just have to rearrange.
Right.
So we can look for the near future for trying it on a certain day, and if that one day doesn't work, then we can jump to another day.
Yeah.
So what,
Basketballs are
Fridays I can
Fridays,
do.
right?
Yeah, right?
yeah, basketballs will be,
Yeah,
Fridays won't work either.
yeah.
yeah,
We can adjust it,
Yep.
we can adjust to seasons.
You can make basketball Saturday like soccer. I don't see why.
Yeah, no, especially if we're gonna be doing some traveling and that, which we're gonna talk about. Okay, so do we wanna shoot for in 2 weeks, looking at Monday or Friday? Can you do Friday?
Yeah, I could do Friday.
Okay, Friday at 4. You can't do anything before, you can't do 4, can you?
I could do 4.
You could do 4?
Friday, mhm.
Okay, so we'll shoot for 4 o'clock on Friday. Okay. You might just see a big yellow bus parked out there, because it'll be, I come through here at like
I wouldn't
3:48.
show up- I would just be late, because I technically don't get out of work till 4:45.
Wait.
So I could try to come in, I could try to
Maybe the
come in
7th.
early
Oh, okay,
and get out at 4.
Okay,
okay.
right?
You're talking about October 7th, right?
7th or 14th.
We need to be 10 days out.
yeah, it would probably be the 7th, yeah, because it would be 2 weeks. I need to make sure that we have that availability anyways, before we can schedule it. So it'll either be the 7th or the 14th.
So the 14th is better for us, not to complicate things. It's Columbus Day weekend, the 7th, so.
Actually-
We have friends coming, but if we're gonna limit it to an hour and a half, you know, at 4 or 5 o'clock, that's fine. But just if other people are going away.
I'd almost rather not do that Friday because that Friday is tournament weekend.
Oh, yeah, oh my gosh.
The 14th?
Yeah,
We got a lot going
Yeah,
on.
it is, yeah,
it's
yeah.
tournament weekend.
Can we start, just an
Then the
idea,
7th is fine.
why don't we just start in November? Because
Because we have a lot of things coming up. Yeah, okay, so I'll look at
Some time.
the 7th and see if 4 PM on the 7th works.
Okay.
10, 7.
And you'd get one of us, worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
so we can at least try with that. So
Yeah.
we'll see if that's available, and if it's not, just trying to look at a backup date. Because I don't want to do Columbus Day weekend, because we're already committing, those of us that are going to be there are already committing to 2 days, full-blown, and,
Then the
well,
following weekend, and we're not here.
We're away on that
We
Saturday.
can help on the 15th, but we're,
yeah, you got the 16th, you're gone. Okay, so we'll look at that day and we'll see what they have. Okay. Then I wanted to go over Snack Shack for the past 2 weeks. Amazing job, everybody, coaches, anybody that's come by to help, everybody. We've been doing amazing. We've had some more volunteers. On 9/17, when we counted the box at the end of the day, we had $498.83 in the box. We started the box with $82.58 and we used $67.48 to restock. So that left us with a profit that week of $348.83.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Yesterday, we ended the day with $481.67 in the box. We sold out of the 32-pack of hamburgers, by the way.
Yeah.
We started the day with $70.17 in the box because it was the leftover of what we had, so it was $204.83 was used to restock. So we ended with a $206.67 profit.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was pretty amazing. We've been doing awesome with the Shack. The Shack's only been enhancing. We've been taking any ideas that somebody comes up to the window and says, hey, do you have? And running with it. And I think one of the biggest hits so far has been the nachos with cheese sauce.
Yes.
That was a good idea.
I sold 10 plates
Did it work having a
after
tally
she left.
yesterday?
Yeah, we had a tally, so this was, so if you guys can see this was the tally check marks from the 17th.
Yeah.
Because we're starting to keep track of what we're selling for the most part, we're able to keep up.
Yeah, I know.
Not always. And then this was the tallies, again, for the most part, yesterday. So it gives us an idea of what's selling and what's not. Breakfast sandwiches did awesome on the 17th, didn't do so hot yesterday. And popcorn did awesome on the 17th, didn't do so hot yesterday.
We had nachos yesterday.
We had nachos
We had
though.
nachos, yeah.
So that was the biggest thing. Next thing is our mom's fundraiser. Awesome job to everybody. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for getting that out there. On Monday, when I had messaged over to the greenhouse and asked them where we were standing, they said we had 91 sold. And I said, fantastic, so we need to sell 9 more in order to get free delivery. And a couple hours later, he sends me a message back. He goes, actually, no, you've had a few more orders come in this morning. You guys are all set. The next morning, he sends me an email saying, we had to shut off ordering, which I thought it was getting shut off on Monday anyways. We had to shut off ordering as we're almost sold out. You guys sold 129 mums.
that was really good.
So in one day, we went from 91 to 129. He said he had 5 or 6 brand-new groups for doing their first ever fundraiser with them, and he said that we did the best out of all of them. Noble obviously beat us with 900 and something, but
Yeah,
they've been doing it for
Noble.
years.
Yeah.
And it's the school. So in total, we sold $1,151.25 worth of mums. The greenhouse kept $580.50, and they gave us $571.25. So that was a fantastic fundraiser. We had a lot of people that actually asked if we were doing it again next year. So I want to just kind of do a quick vote. for us to repeat it as an annual thing.
Absolutely. I mean, that was not
Nobody's
heavy
more
lifting.
surprised.
That was
than I am.
easy, yeah.
Yeah.
All we did was share it.
Right.
Yeah, I think if we, you know, we
Yeah.
better, you know.
And they were really
I couldn't believe
beautiful.
it.
Yeah.
They were lovely.
Yeah, we
Those
got
were-
4
We were so
ourselves.
proud to say, look, just, there's not a bad one in the bunch.
Yeah, came out good.
No, even the one that they said broke.
Right.
Was still gorgeous. So everybody in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this might be a good time while we're on the fundraising topic. Do you have like a 1 through 3 wish list of what we're raising money for and a priority order of what we're knocking out when we have the funds? Or is this just, we're building up a piggy bank and we're gonna decide at a later time?
It was kind of a build up a piggy bank at this point to do what we can, but, the top thing that's always been on my list is a playground. So I had my meeting with the selectmen and they insisted for us to not worry about money because I like to fundraise and all of a sudden they said, I don't want you doing a bunch of fundraising. Makes no sense to me. I'd rather fundraise, if we can, the couple times a year, especially something that's as easy, you know, where you just post about it. We don't have to take any of the money. It just
The
does
snack shack's
itself.
like organic. I almost feel like fundraising is like a side goal there, because there's so many families sitting out yesterday just eating. Their kids had played, and I went up to a few and talked to them, and I was like, hey, your kids all done for today, huh? And they're like, yeah. And they hung out for like another hour, because they just want an excuse to be together as a community, be out in the good weather. The snack shack kind of provided that excuse, so. Like, some of the stuff that's organic for fundraising, it's not like we're going out of our way to do it.
No.
It just kind of happens.
All we did was share it.
Yeah.
Like we kept, it was every week, we just share every single page you think of, and that's how we got it. Word of mouth too, and
There has to be like a middle ground stance we can take with, like, make it clear to the selectmen that we're not like beating our heads against fundraising, at least when it comes to the snack shack. It's just kind of all happens organically.
So is the snack shack?
I don't think they look at the snack shack as fundraising.
Even business, or are we looking to turn a profit?
To me, personally, I would be looking to try to turn a little bit of a profit so that the snack shack can run on its own and not,
advance
yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
And advance itself so that eventually, you know, with us creating a profit from it, when we reach so much for what we can.
Buy more things, but
Yeah.
we have budgets from the town.
We have budgets from the town, but
I think I see both sides of the question. Yeah, we should be fundraising, but I think not like nickel and dime stuff. I
No,
think we
right.
shouldn't be asking the community for, and I appreciate your efforts on this, but it's just, it's a lot. You know, every time you're on Facebook and you're seeing it on different pages, I do think it's a lot, and I think people just kind of go tone deaf after a little while. But I do like the idea of doing something larger and more meaningful, you know, as a community. And, you know, the tree lighting ceremony is not a good example because we know that that's not a profit
That's a
making,
lose, yep.
that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's an
But
expense
We've got
and
that field, which is fantastic, and this time of the year, we could be putting on some decent barbecues and things that will draw in not only people with kids coming for soccer and baseball, but getting people to come in and saying, hey, you know, there's this thing going on Sunday afternoon, Saturday, whatever it is, Friday night, that we just provide a forum for, come for some fun and games, have a bite to eat, and it's, you know, $5 a plate, $10 a family, however you want to price it, and then we get those numbers in, we get the volume of people in, and we've got hopefully a budget or money in the piggy bank to make that investment in food and drink
Or even-
and toys.
So to that end, just to, excuse me, to come back to like a treasurer, I don't even know what the budget is for the rec committee, and can we say, like in the fall, we would like this budgeted for, I don't know, bean suppers and Beano or something, or chili cook-off or
Right,
something like
anything,
that.
right, yeah.
Yeah, so that we can then vote as a committee on what the budget will be for the year with some discretionary, obviously, segments for pop-up stuff, like a tournament that we hadn't planned on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So in regards to the budget itself, in years past, when I've been looking over everything, it looks like they break everything down by sport. So in the sport, you know, they'll say for, we'll do soccer, for example. We had budgeted 2,000 for uniforms, 500 for medals, 200 for end of ceremony, or, the ceremony, 200 for balls, and I think 200 for, random things for like painting the lines and that. And then it would give you your total, and then it had projected revenue, so for all of the signups. And they did that as a breakdown for every sport. And then they included the ice skating rink. And then they had a miscellaneous line for 500.
Okay.
So we can make our budget however we want to make it, as long as we have it broken down and a description of what we want. So at the next meeting, what I'll do is I'll print out what I've started so that everybody can kind of see where my mind is set. Because I'm not passing anything in until everybody looks at it, everybody gives their feedback on it. And if there's, numbers that they'd like to adjust, if there's something else they'd like to add to it, I want to make sure that we're all in this together and that we can all really, see everything as a whole. Because what I might see, you might not see, or what I might not see, you see.
Your budget just shows priorities. For
Yes.
And I think just in general, to vote on the priorities would be just a good exercise and, yeah.
And I mean, I think one of the things that I added to the budget was, doing a drag for the field, for the baseball field.
Oh, yeah.
So that way we have our own, and we can kind of keep up with it, and then also some topsoil for it.
Or to buy a
To
piece of
actually buy
equipment.
a piece of equipment for it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's something that either a four-wheeler or just a bunch of people could go out and grab with their hands and drag together. But it's something I was reading about, and it says that it should be done like every week, and it usually starts as soon as the thaw starts, because then you can break up all your root systems that have started.
Yeah, you can see that wasn't gonna last.
Yeah,
But it
no.
lasted baseball, so.
Yeah, it lasted during baseball.
Right, but there's grass growing in there already.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's,
Design, but
Yeah.
for soccer, but yeah, the grass is growing.
yep, so I'm like, well, that's why it was the end of the year, I'm like, we'll worry about it when spring hits. We can get some of the topsoil to put down on top of it, because it's actually like a baseball field
Yeah.
mix that's supposed to pack down.
Yep.
And we'll go from there.
A clean mix, yeah.
So, Aubuchon, we can't do it now because it'll be good, because Aubuchon is 50% off.
Yeah, I know, but their prices are still high.
Oh, are they? Yeah.
I went in the other day, and I'm like,
Okay. They're
They
closing.
also got rid of a lot of their big stuff and sent them to Wells.
Okay.
To bounce off of what Hope was saying, we could even do, projector movie nights. And
That's
that
a
would be a huge draw, because
Yep.
you've got the snack shack for snacks, and then having the movie and stuff, and I think that would draw in a lot, because other communities do that, and it draws in quite a lot.
I say Shapley just had one on Friday night, and she goes, it was in the 30s, it was freezing, we were all bundled in blankets, we sold out of hot dogs, we sold out of like a lot of things in their shack.
Community stuff.
They had 80
Everyone wants family stuff. There's
had
not
80
enough
people.
Family
But
stuff.
there's a hefty expense with that, because
It's
you're.
like $600.
licensing,
Yeah,
and you're
movies.
operating as the movie theater.
Yep,
So,
it's like
I mean, I'm not saying it isn't worth it, I'm just saying, you don't just plug in our DVD and let it go.
Right.
No, it was like $600 for a Disney
Was it
movie.
Shapley that wanted to partner with us? We were gonna do
Yeah.
one there, one here.
Oh, yeah, and that's another thing. Would you guys be interested in trying to partner next year? It's like $600 a movie, so it would be like $300 a movie, but the problem is
If we can budget for it, sure.
if we could budget for it, we could do it together with Shapley. Maybe we can do it here one day, one weekend, and then do it over there another weekend. And we can also see if we can divide the shack.
Yeah.
That's,
So that-
that's the thing,
We
right?
need to split the shack, yeah.
So if we can, and I mean, that's easy enough working with Sam over there.
That's
They
fine.
had
As long-
Kona ice
As long as
chip.
we're doing that.
Yeah, Kona was there.
Kona Ice was there, and they sold a lot of ice even though it was cold.
Oh, yeah, he always sells.
But I think the cooler weather is probably better, turn out, the mosquitoes aren't.
Yeah,
around,
mosquitoes.
It's not so buggy.
Yeah.
And it's more appealing in the off season.
That'd be good, yeah.
I can even talk with Sam and see if that's an interest for next year so that we can also budget for it. I can kind of get what their expenses are every time they do it, to get an idea, because if we plan it right, we can always, split everything. They actually have, she said, I think it's like a 50-pack of plain Lay's potato chips that she's going to bring on tournament weekend, that somebody donated in town to her. She goes, you guys can do whatever you want with them. So we can, something that we can have. All right, moving right along. Traveling. A huge push. Want to travel. People need to, so the issue that we had this year was, I think we have so many COVID families that they've never traveled with it before. So, because you think about it, all the way up through second grade has been COVID. They didn't usually travel in the pre-KK. So now we're coming into what, year 3? Year 4 with COVID situations. So a lot of these families have never had to travel. So we've got that we're battling against, and we've got the fact that they have all of these multiple kids. We've got single parents, we've got, the duplicate parents, but only one parent's able to go. So when we do traveling situations, we need to do better, that was part of me too, do better with looking over the forms and knowing, okay, I got this family and this family has a kid and multiple.
So to that end, the basketball forms already went out. I didn't see,
The only travel box said we were gonna play in Shapley.
Oh, no, it says, here, give me one, I'm gonna disappear for 1 second if that's okay.
okay, so we did annotate it on the new form?
It is on the form, but it just says we will be traveling to Shapley.
That's a guarantee that we're traveling,
Yeah.
exactly, no questions asked.
It gave the option, did we just not get
Yeah, we have the option.
I already filled it out.
the one on the whiteboard?
Okay, so I'm gonna pass this
The
around.
one that had
so
the
everybody can
magnet to the
see it.
whiteboard, or did we get a different one?
It's this one.
So this is the form, it does have one of our kiddos that has already signed up, mom said yes, I'm not gonna name any names. It says willing to travel max of 45 minutes, yes or no.
Okay.
Note, we will be planning to travel to Shapley.
Okay.
So that it is on there.
It's gonna be, this is a whole culture shock for people to go from pre-COVID to COVID to post-COVID. Like, how long did it take for everyone to get used to wearing masks and
Oh, yeah.
and then once everyone got used to it, and then people didn't want to get rid of them, so like, it's a slow moving wave to get people back to travel, so the way I envision it is we're gonna have, hopefully, split down the middle of like a travel team and a travel team and a non-travel team. But let's be realistic, for sign up for 3rd and 4th graders, it's gonna tilt one way or the other.
Yeah.
Let's say, best case scenario.
What happens if we have two people that don't wanna travel?
Yeah, I'm gonna be optimistic based on my team's numbers, and I opted not to travel this year, but our 3rd and 4th graders, we had majority, probably close to 80% that wanted to travel, but everyone else wasn't, and we had enough people answer no that I was like, let's just go with what everyone's doing this season. But I felt like we had a pretty good majority, so let's say that is 60 to 40 at sign up for 3rd and 4th grade, just take it for an example. The 40% barely makes a team, they barely have enough for subs, and they're the home only. That already creates undue stress on that coach and that situation. Or maybe it tilts the other way, 40% want to travel. I'm sorry, so let's stick with that example. And then you have a few kids sick one week, you don't have enough to play that weekend, or maybe another weekend, other towns don't want to send us a team, now those group of kids don't have a team to play against. There's so many things and factors to think about with having a home and travel team, but if we're gonna go feet first into that, that's fine. But it's not gonna be a dream scenario that we're all picturing, where it's like split 50-50 down the middle. And I don't wanna put a kid that, if we have more people sign up for travel, be like, we gotta even out the teams. Okay, you three, we're gonna put you on the home only team. And then these kids are like, I wanna travel, what are you talking about? Why are you putting me on the home team?
We're gonna have to figure that out as
And then
a
they don't
kid.
have a team that weekend because no one wants to travel to Acton. And then the next weekend, a few are sick and they have such low numbers, they can't play again.
Can we
It's gonna be way more complex than we're
Right.
giving credit to the
Can we
situation.
revisit it in a couple weeks when we
Yeah.
get forms back?
We can
just to
revisit
see
when we
what
get the,
people have said?
yeah. So before basketball actually comes up, and actually I wanted to, since we're talking about that right now, I'm gonna kind of skip the next thing for 1 second and go right to the basketball. So are you guys, your thoughts? So in the past, I guess they've always done, games on Fridays. So I don't know what the schedule is with the school. I'd have to check in with Christy to kind of see what her scheduling is for games and whatnot, like when they're home. Are you guys opposed to doing games other days of the week?
No.
Whatever works.
Okay, so we are not set on games just on Friday,
I am not.
If
because
it's an issue with our school, we could say our home games are Fridays.
we can do that.
You know what I mean? Like, anytime we're here in Acton, it would be on a Friday night, but if we go somewhere else,
Okay.
I mean, just thinking out of the box, if that becomes an issue.
Because I want to make sure, because I know like for cheerleading, you know, when they're performing, they're only going to perform at our home games. But if we have, so say we take the scenario that we have with soccer, and we do that with basketball, and we have 7 teams, we're not going to be able to do 7 games on a Friday night.
No.
No way. So to me, if we do, various groups on different days, but rotate them through, I don't always want to make, if we're doing a Friday, a Monday, a Saturday, whatever, I don't want to make one group always have this day. I'd like to rotate them through so that every group kind of gets to fluctuate when they're playing. The only ones that I would try to keep a little more consistency would just be our pre-KK, just because they're so little and they revolve a lot around schedules for most.
What is our coaching situation?
So right now, I know we have James, AJ. John. You're already there.
I was looking to see if there's another guy behind.
I've had someone else say that they're possibly interested. I'm just kind of waiting to hear back. Oh, and with soccer, we've had a few parents that have signed up have been Stanford families. They said they used to go to Stanford, and this year they just barely missed the cutoff, and then they found out that they could come here and play, and they were extremely excited about it, because that meant their kids still got to play, and the fact that, they like that it's more family revolved than big time like Sanford is, and they love the fact that they had some competition over here anyways.
Yeah.
So we've actually,
really
I think, reeled in a few more of Sanford families right over, which is awesome. For basketball, we've been contacted so far by Shapley, by Nason Center, and again by Berwick.
Does Nason Center have its own
They're starting this year.
league?
They're starting this year. Yep, they're doing their first year with having their own league. So we'll be able to play with them, so that's at least 3. I want to reach out to Wakefield, Milton.
Wakefield.
And then obviously Joe, but let Joe know that we're only going to go to him, we're not going to his cohorts. So we're not going to go to Lyman, we're not going to go, or Lyman I think we could do.
Lyman's 30.
Lyman we could do, Lyman could be on that list. Because that's the Lyme school.
Just so our eyes are wide open, we're gonna have a travel team and a home team. We'll look at the numbers, revisit that conversation then. We also
Yes.
are gonna do our best to accommodate siblings, have them on the same page.
Yes.
Same.
I asked
This
parents to
this is
put
gonna be
names.
like a detective board. We're gonna have forms up on the board, and we're gonna be having string connecting and stuff. So I'm just telling you, have your eyes wide open. I'll help you, but it's gonna take a lot to get everyone to get as happy as possible. It's
I've
gonna be a lot.
asked parents to put on the side of their form, because one of the families that came up to me had said no to traveling with soccer just because the games were 3 different locations one day.
Okay.
And they said if we could all be in one location, we would absolutely do
And that's
travel.
the last cog
We
in the
wouldn't-
puzzle, is our travel teams will only be going to one location every time as well, so. And we don't,
Yes.
other teams don't have the same makeup as us. For example, not Lyman, but one of them had like 4 3rd and 4th grade teams and no 5th and 6th grade teams. And that's the same story for every town, because they're all small towns and they just got what they got. So we don't match up 1-to-1 for team ratios to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we also have this age thing that we're gonna have to figure out as well. Is everyone 1st and 2nd grade, 3rd and 4th grade? Are we doing U7, U9? So before basketball starts, we also, with the people on board, need to better hash out the age groups.
Yes.
Because this thing with Berwick that was 1st through 3rd grade, I mean, it's working. It's a rough shod solution,
Yes.
but there's some 1st graders out there against 3rd and 4th graders, and then they have to borrow 5th graders to put on the team. So I think the planning phase for basketball, we have our eyes wide open.
When
It's
does
gonna
it
be a lot of
start?
work.
December, beginning of December, so we've got a little while.
About how many registrations do you have in hand already?
I only have one in hand, but I've had multiple messages asking about signups and whatnot. They went out to every student through 5th grade at the school already. So I think everybody was waiting to kind of get settled with soccer before they pursued on that one. And then I'm waiting to make sure the school has a team before we go for the 6th graders.
It's good that we're doing this 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if we could do that for soccer next year?
Yes.
Like send the form into the school like end of May to get them back before the
Yes.
end of
So we
June.
have time to think about it and how it might work.
And plan
There
with
are
other
wild
towns.
cards, right? We just don't know.
Right.
And the plan for baseball is the last week of school, last 2 weeks of school, I'd like to send baseball forms out as well. Or no, before then, because
Yeah.
it's June.
Yeah.
So yeah, so in like March or something.
Isn't baseball in the spring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be going out in February or March.
Yeah, because I was trying to remember which sport we were at. I'm like, which month are we at? I'm so like,
Are you in charge?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What's the difference between 1st grade second grade, and under 7 and under 9, just,
Yeah,
does that?
sometimes there's a bleed over in grades, so we saw it with Berwick where they just went peer 1st through 3rd, but then if you have U9, that doesn't always correlate to 3rd through 4th. It just doesn't, if you do a U9, U11, U7, it doesn't correlate to our system, which is pre-K and K,
Yep.
1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th. They round out the edges.
Is
yeah.
there one scenario that's better than another?
I don't know, and so that's why I was gonna ask you,
Well,
is
they're
are
under
you,
9, some of them had, like.
I like it by the grades more because, so look at my situation, okay? Kara is the youngest in her class. She's not even 5 yet and she's in kindergarten. So, you know, normal, she's 4 days before the cutoff. Kaylin on the other side is one of the oldest in her class, just like another student. She's a little bit older than her. She's 7 and she's in 1st grade, so she's going to be 8 when she's in 2nd grade. So, like Berwick was 6 through 8 for their team. That jives well with my kids' ages. That's a 1st and 2nd grade to me, but it also covers 3rd grade. So I like the idea of the 1st and 2nd versus the U9 or U, because then you're.
I'm not questioning.
Well, no,
But just like
as a.
statistically how, because we want to pair up with other towns if we're
Yeah.
going to be doing this.
But not every town uses the same.
Right.
Yeah, no, so we would just have to put ourselves, if we have a 1st and 2nd grade team, then okay, we're going to be a U8 or whatever it is.
Okay.
Because that's, you know, typically, you're gonna be looking at that, because I like the idea, and it's up to everybody else, I like the idea of going off of the grade system as well, because in Kaylin's example, again, if I were to go another system, she might be in the next class above than where she is, so that means she's going to be ultra nervous as well, because she's not gonna be with any of her friends. All of her friends are gonna be in the other group. So it kind of also rations out looking at that aspect.
so I think we could get really in the weeds here, and it probably wouldn't be a good use of our time. I just want to send you a checklist of things we should go over with the other rec directors, which I was starting to get into with them, but then hashing out the schedule is more important. So if you're gonna own talking to the other rec directors like Shapley and the other ones on board for basketball, I'm just gonna send you a list of
checklist?
things we should check off with each of them and let you handle it if that's what you wanna do.
Okay, that works.
So,
Are you the person?
I know I've talked with 2 of them so far, and I know that after the last bat, you didn't sound like you wanted to continue with that aspect.
I just
I'm
don't wanna,
still-
I kinda got egg on my face, and I don't know.
I'm still wanting to make you the point person to work with me on the schedules.
Okay.
So before anything's submitted and whatnot, me and you can kind of hash out the finals on everything, if that works for you.
Does that mean I'll be communicating with the rec directors, or is that?
I'm gonna put you, any of the communications that I have via email, I will put you in as well, because they might ask questions that I might not know the answers to.
Okay.
But you would, because they come back with some questions that ask in regards to,
Yeah, the soccer field dimensions.
yeah, the dimensions, how many kids are out there, various stuff like that, that him being the coach.
Okay. I just
Ego,
want to
please.
have the roles straight
Yes.
and eyes wide open when we go into this attempt for basketball.
Yes.
And if anything were to go awry, it's gonna be easy for us to patch things up.
Yes.
Because we're clearly defining all the stuff right now.
So I don't want us going to, I think people will probably complain if we go to Leamington, Hollis, and Dayton, because they are pushing the distance, but if we can stick with Lyman, Limerick, Shapley, Lebanon, Wakefield, and Milton.
I'd reached out to them for soccer, but we can talk offline for who we're gonna reach out to collectively for basketball.
Yeah.
Or if you wanna just hand me a list, whatever.
Yeah, we can go from, just because I know all of these are really close.
Yeah, I think these are all of our surrounding towns. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna jump on to the next part.
can I
Oh, sorry.
say something that I've been trying to?
Sorry.
No, Krista.
No, keep quiet.
So, the concern I have about traveling is I don't think parents are understanding the concept. There is a big difference from traveling to surrounding towns to a traveling team.
Oh, yes.
And I think we need to get that message out to all these parents that are concerned and say, well, go put your kid on a traveling team. A traveling team is not surrounding towns. That is common sense for a sport. You're traveling to surrounding towns. A traveling team is an elite team that is traveling an hour to 2 hours to compete top notch. There's a big difference, and I think we need to get it out to the parents. They're gonna try to push us into not wanting to travel, and I don't think having the option is going to be a smart idea. It's either take it or leave it, like most sports are, is you're traveling to surrounding towns because you're giving the kids the experiences they need. I think we're doing a really disservice by only making home teams to only be stuck at home. I mean, I know for my son, as excited as he is, he has 2 teams to be playing and is having fun. He's really disappointed and upset he's not getting the experience with other people. And parents, it's their job to figure it out, and you have multiple sports.
Yep.
I couldn't go to my stepdaughter's cheerleading football game on Friday because my other kid had practice. That's what we do as parents, and we need to focus on the kids and their better experience, not the family dynamics that needs to be figured out in the family dynamic situations. And I think we need to keep that focus, because my concern is we're always gonna have people that wanna stay in their bubble, and we can't please that bubble. We need to please the kids, and by keeping them home and not giving them that experience, I think it's gonna do a disservice of, we're here for the kids.
Well, the only problem with that is the littles, so pre-K, kindergarten, first and second, I know that if you force them to travel, we will lose.
But that's gonna happen with,
Well, that's because of the COVID time, a lot of them.
That's gonna happen, though.
But when
I
I talk to
mean-
the parents in first and second, because I know them all, and I talk to the pre-K and kindergarten, they won't, if you make them travel, they will not sign their kids up.
And then that's their
No.
issue to struggle with
No, I know.
their own children.
No, I
because
know, I just don't want
Littles,
kids
you
not to have
need
to
to
play.
be exposing, especially the littles, you need to expose those younger ages. You need to have that socialization and exploring. I
And I think we
mean,
can
that's where they learn.
Employing in other methods. I think this isn't as big a deal as we might think it is, but I think you guys are right. We need to hit it off, and we need to do it early. I also think, we get the message out sometimes a little too late, so they don't have time to prepare.
Yes.
So if we give them notice, and they know they're gonna go over to Shapley, I mean, we pass through Shapley, most of us, every day anyway.
Same distance, yeah.
Berwick is a little bit of a hike, I get that, but, Wakefield, Milton, I mean, these are our surrounding towns, we pass through them on a daily basis. that's not traveling, that's.
And that's what I mean, if you literally look up the difference between a rec team and a traveling team, there is a distinct difference.
Right, but
Traveling
also-
is traveling. I mean, for wrestling, you're traveling. Sometimes I'm traveling 2 hours to my tournament days for my son. That's traveling,
And there may be
that's the
days when you're
sport.
taking a carload of kids, on the team here, because another parent is gonna take another carload of teams there. And I think just giving people notice so they have a chance to prepare, so that
Yes.
they know this is happening and it's not a big surprise. And I think that was our demise this time around.
Yeah.
We're starting on
Heads up.
Saturday, and
It
people
hit them
learned on
between the
Thursday.
eyes, and everyone
Yeah.
just exploded.
Right.
And
So if
I-
I can offer an olive branch between the two, there's one, I'll be honest, and I'll put my cards on the table. I'm in Carissa's camp as far as what I personally want, but I also understand the reality of the feedback we got from the parents.
Yeah.
So our foray into travel is, I think, basketball, how we're doing it.
Yeah.
We give the option, and we're slowly walking into the ice-cold water, and we're getting used to the temperature, and hopefully we submerge, and we're somewhere in Carissa's camp of travel's expected, and it's not even a checkbox. But that can't happen overnight, so let's see how it goes with basketball. We'll have some home only, and we'll have travel, so both parties are satisfied. Maybe the travel team then communicates to the home people, and the kids talk at school. It's just inevitable. Parents talk, it's a small town. Maybe the travel parents are like, "Man, we only traveled a max of 20 minutes. We loved our season," and then that brings it happens organically. Then everyone starts moving
The
to
best
travel. We
solution.
don't have this huge blow up and this
Right.
line is here moment where we go, you guys are all travel or you're not playing at all. So I feel like we're taking the middle solution between both camps right now.
Well, the
And-
problem is if you make it so they travel, force for soccer, so I know that like the first and second grade teams were so huge that they had to play themselves to get more game time. So when you make them play against another team, they have less game time, because we got so many soccer kids.
We'd have to do, so what we'd have to do is we'd have to divide the number up more, so we would end up having to find another coach.
So the problem is though, if you force travel for soccer, we will lose a coach will lose
So
Amanda.
this
We're
is
not
the-
even, we're.
This is the
No,
compromise.
no, I
right now.
know, but she would not coach.
Well, that's, because that's the other thing, is we do have to make sure whoever our coaches are.
Yeah.
I have to find out from them, are you willing to travel, and if,
Right.
or are you not? And if I have coaches that are not willing to, to
Yeah.
go to another school, like, I've talked to some, and they're game to go, Shapley and the real
Right.
close places, but they don't wanna go anywhere else, which I completely understand, I don't wanna send everybody.
Honestly, I think the best solution is to get the forms out as soon as possible.
Yep,
Yeah.
and
Because the minute we have the forms back, we know how many kids.
Right, we
have.
figure it out.
We'll know how many coaches we would need, and then find coaches that
Right.
would be willing to
So
travel.
we don't wanna like exclude.
we're not forcing anybody to
Right.
travel right now, so
Right,
that's
right.
where we need to remember.
No, I know, but you don't wanna like, cause the parents, you don't wanna make kids not be able to play because the parents don't wanna travel. That's not right.
Well,
So, 'cause
we're not there
we're
yet.
not
No,
there
no, I
yet.
know, but I'm saying, I don't wanna lose Amanda either.
No, we're not gonna lose Amanda, and we're not forcing anybody
Okay,
yet. So,
okay, good.
and that was one thing that I did put on, that post that I did when we kind of resorted everything, is I did tell everybody, I gave a heads up, when I was putting out the basketball forms, that we were going to be putting a checkbox on there if you're willing to travel, a max of 45 minutes, thinking it's gonna be less, but again, it depends on where in town you are, because it takes me
Right.
25 minutes to get to the other side of town. So it kind of depends on where you are in town, but I told them it would be a max of 45 minutes for travel time to a game. And I asked if they were willing to travel, and I gave a breakdown of what the differences are, and the fact that if you have a kid that maybe not really interested in sports, but you're trying to push them into it or whatnot, then okay, you might not travel because you're not a huge sport person, they're not a huge sports person, and they're just doing it to get out. So that might be the home games. And then if you have the kids that are, jump right in, they love the sports, they love doing this, they love doing that, and they want to do as much as they can, they're going to be the perfect ones to go into the travel teams, especially as they get like our 3rd, 4th grade and up, because that's going to gear them up and get them ready for going into the middle school teams. Because once they're on the middle school teams, they travel, most of them. I mean, luckily, they have the bus that they can do, which is another thing that I want to talk to at a later time. To see what the thoughts are on that, but I don't know if we're going to be able to pull that one off.
I think we're at a perfect compromise right now, and let's just see how it goes, and we'll keep revisiting every sport.
Right.
If we start tilting to travel direction, we'll revisit the conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe it stays
Perfect.
split the whole time.
Right.
Who knows?
We just gotta, we all have different opinions, obviously, and we just gotta work together.
She's cold.
I don't
I
want,
feel bad for Berwick.
yeah.
Well, Berwick doesn't have a home field.
Well, that aside, they could be traveling, some of them up to an hour to get to our field.
Because, so she said that most of them, because of where they are, they're not all from Berwick, but they're the homeschool group that are in that area.
Yeah.
And they're coming tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, that was their,
A bit, I just feel like
If they could.
these
do it,
other
we can.
towns are willing to come to us, and we don't have anybody that wants to go there.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the
so,
And
so with,
that's just
One
not fair.
extreme we shouldn't be taking right now. We should be somewhere in the middle at the very least.
Yeah,
We should
and-
have some people willing to, because the majority of my 3rd and 4th graders want to travel.
Right, agreed, but we also managed to salvage the
The
season.
season.
Right, we did a good
So,
job.
and
that's the,
from a spectator's point of view, I thought it went flawlessly. The parking was not an
Yeah,
issue.
no. No,
We
we
did
managed
some
to work-
things on the fly. We weren't prepared in some, but no one, except for Virginia, saw that we were unprepared.
Right.
With change, but I thought it just went beautifully. I know it was a tremendous amount of work to pull that off. But it was fun to see,
Yeah.
those 4 fields in use in all of these little bodies.
oh yeah, that was awesome. Your idea for that was,
Yeah, it was
that was
good.
flawless.
It was really.
We did really
That
good.
was a team effort.
good.
And, we're capable of doing that.
Right.
We know we can do that.
And our fear of the
just said
parking in
the
that, he's fine.
Oh, okay.
The fear of the parking lot in that actually worked out amazing. I think yesterday we only had, one car that was close to being on the road? I don't think we had
Yeah,
anybody park on the road.
The red truck.
Yeah, and that was a really bad spot for
That
him
was
to
in a
park.
bad
I
spot.
could not figure
had a lot of
out
people that
how to
were-
pull out safely.
Okay, but we gotta keep moving, otherwise we're not gonna make it through. Okay, so the tournament, have you had anybody, so I know we have Shapley, she told me what she had coming, and actually I can tell you what.
Reach out to SSYA again. I think they were interested, but that was a very tentative, it's almost like a let's just be friends thing, I think, where I was like, you want to be part of the season? They're like, nah, but we could maybe do the tournament, so I don't know if that was genuine or not.
Okay, have you heard of anybody else that's interested yet?
So Shapley, you're gonna have Limerick,
We are gonna have Limerick, because they weren't on the list, like, on their schedule. I sent you their schedule, yeah?
Joe said he was interested, but just, he's a text away. We can figure that out real quick.
Yeah, well, I'll probably have you reach out to him again, because I don't know if he's happy with
I
it.
don't wanna get overblown for the tournament. We could invite the Bermuda Triangle over there of Hollis, Wilmington, and Dayton.
I think they all have games that weekend.
Oh, they do?
Or at least on Saturday. We might be able to get them for Sunday.
No, the Berwick people last weekend were mildly interested.
All right.
So you got
Oh, they're coming. She's already listed on there,
got
yeah.
Berwick, Shapley, possibly SSYA. Do you want me to reach out to more than that?
Yeah, because we've got 2 full days of games to do. If we have any middle school age, so Berwick doesn't have any that is our middle school age group. If we have a middle school age group, the 5th through, or the 6th through 8th.
6th through 8th.
Then we can absolutely invite them, so that we can give our home team a chance to play too. Because I know we have some kids that have, family members that are on that team and then others, so it'd be kind of cool if they could play.
I will reach out tonight or tomorrow to who's remaining, and I think
Okay.
we should do a cutoff by Friday. Who hasn't answered and locked in by Friday, it's no more. We can't take it up to a
Well, that's-
weekend before.
Yeah, no, because that was what the thought was, they had to let us know by the end of this month.
Okay.
So for Shapley, we have 1 pre-KK team, 1 1-2, and 1 3-4 team. And then because she said they cut off registration as well. And she doesn't have any 5th, 6th. She did have 1 older kid that ended up getting joined on, but she thought that was okay, and I said, yeah, it seemed to be, because she only had the 1.
So as part of general planning for that day, it took a long time for me and John to chalk those fields, by the way. It was way more involved than I thought it would be.
You guys said awesome.
But,
But I'd like the key, because I'm gonna go do it after we leave the meeting.
we don't have enough cans of paint in there. We only got
I'm
one.
only gonna do the center line in the box of the circle, because that's gone.
Which
Yeah,
key was
yep.
it? Do you remember which key it was? Was it the gold one or the silver one?
You couldn't see the circle.
I was planning on getting more.
Here, I'll follow you over and I'll unlock it.
Yeah.
How's that? Because I'm like,
Hey, get more cans of paint. I was gonna do everything.
It may not be paintable tomorrow.
You don't think so?
It might be wet.
I'd say
So
we're
right
supposed to
now
get
it's
rain this
dry.
afternoon,
it's supposed to
though.
rain this
So it
afternoon.
could
Yeah,
wash
but
out.
that's okay.
As long as
Once the
it's dried
paint's down,
before.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rain's not gonna, but if it's wet, putting it down.
We're gonna run to the hardware store after this, I think, and then,
I'll go unlock that lock when we leave
But like I
here.
said, I really just want to do the center circle and the center line, because they are gone.
Jen's like,
That's what gets all the use.
okay. Food,
If it's gonna rain this afternoon, do you wanna wait until tomorrow to do
Nope,
it?
I want to get it down before the rain.
get it done before the rain, because once the grass is wet, it's not gonna stay. But it will stay through the rain.
All right.
the reason I brought that up mostly was for the tournament. Cones ain't gonna work.
So I guess she has these flat ones. The school does not want us, and I can confirm with them,
understand
they didn't want us painting over them.
So they already have stuff there.
They have 1 field that's done, but there's 2 fields that we can use.
Can we do, like, I can look for special paint that can wash away, like, real easily. It just doesn't seem, if we could somehow compromise with Mr. Ross and be like, look, if you set cones down everywhere, every time a kid runs into it, you're gonna have to go put it back. The boundaries are you're gonna have like a rhombus or a trapezoid by the end of the game. Like,
Quadrilateral.
So I will talk to Christy Hall and Mr. Ross again, to
we'll
kind
put
of go
in
over
the
that.
work. I'll put in the work, like John, step of the way. We're willing to do the dirty work and get our
Perfect.
hands,
I don't
like,
Because I'm-
open too with anything, if I'm not working, I can
Yeah.
help with stuff.
And I'm gonna move, so the morning of Saturday, I'm gonna move all the buses into the bus line, so that we'll have that entire dirt parking lot minus the vans and the little white bus. We have to keep everybody off of parking on the grass. Nobody's allowed to park on the grass, because they just had a lot of grass work done. So while we're there, just,
we can cone that off.
as of right now, as of right now, it seems to be that it's going to be a go for our food truck and our Kona ice truck. Cool. The selectmen didn't like the idea of a percentage, because Jason said he usually does 25% of total revenue. They don't like the percentage because they said they can't get an absolute of this is what was sold, this is what you're getting, blah, blah, blah. So they want us to do a flat rate fee.
okay.
So we just need to get a kid count so I can get that back to them. Same thing with the food truck, and I need to make sure I have to get all of my insurance information from them. But it seems like we'll be good to go with them, so we won't have to worry about food.
That's good.
Thankfully. Be one less worry. All right, end of season. The thought that I had, that I was running by, actually ran by Hope the other day too, while we were hanging out with mums, is, so normally we always do, yeah, we've got the donation for the pizzas, we've done hot dogs, we've done burgers, but I kind of wanted to do something different. So on that day, we have 2 times for games, a 9 and 10 o'clock. Other than that, we're done at 11. We have no more games the rest of that day. It's the very last day. It's after a wicked crazy weekend for the tournament, so we were trying to keep it all low-key. I believe it's Limerick or Berwick or somebody was coming to play our 5th, 6th grade team. So what I was thinking, because other than that, it's all home games, or all against ourselves type deal to wrap it up. What I was thinking for this was, instead of doing like the lunch stuff, is do more like a brunch. You know, maybe Hope can make her hearty cinnamon rolls that we actually had requests for the apple cakes again, just so you know. I had 3 people come up asking for apple cakes yesterday. But maybe she can make her cinnamon buns. We can do like a French toast bake that she brought up. We can do pancakes, scrambled eggs, sausage, bacon, and potatoes. Have, you know, get, you know, the tins that they have with the little heat source underneath them to kind of keep the hot plates. We can get some of those. We can set up the tables out on the diamond. And then we can make sure that there's people there that can actually help for serving, so that people aren't reaching in themselves. And people can eat from 9:30 to 11:30 we'll have for food, because by 11 the games will be over anyways. And then at 11:30 we can plan on doing the ceremony with all of the awards and certificates and everything.
So everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do everybody, so we have one away team that'll be there. If they eat, they eat. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
But we'll have, you know, we can sell a couple things out of the snack shack if they want other stuff, but otherwise it'll be like a brunch thing, free for all. Make all of that. So from 9:30 to 11:30, we'll just be worrying about, you know, cooking, and we'll top it off at 11:30, so whoever wants to finish off what's there can. And then we'll go right into the award ceremony, and then it'll be pickup time. So by 12:30, I would say we were off the field.
Okay, so Mary Grant, we can get their sound system so coaches can bring up their kids.
Yep.
Did we decide on medals, t-shirts, certificates?
Oh, t-shirts and certificates.
T-shirts, certificates, okay.
Yep, so the coach, just like we did with baseball and that, the coaches are in charge of, you know, their own unique certificate for each student. It doesn't matter what they say, as long as
Okay.
they're...
End of tournament, anything going out? Big trophy for...
That's
top
what we can talk about and see if you wanted to, because I don't know how we're going to, I didn't know how we were planning on doing the breakdown of everything.
I
So,
wanted to be single elimination, otherwise double elimination.
Oh,
Depending on-
that just adds so much time.
Yeah, so single elimination, which would
That
only...
many teams.
we do have, and I can go in the shed and I can look and see what they are. We do have some medals over there, so I can see what it says on the medals, and if we have any for soccer or whatnot, maybe we can bring all of those and we can use those as our award system too.
Oh, there you go.
Wouldn't be too expensive for each age group if we did 1st and 2nd grade for a trophy.
Yep, nope, and
Like
that's,
having a
A
big...
12-pack for $14 for soccer medals.
so we can look them up and we could try to figure out for 1st and 2nd and then kind of go off of that.
medals or something for everyone, and then a big trophy for 1st and 2nd place.
Yeah.
You don't usually do 3rd place unless you have a double elimination. Those are really cute. Because the elimination bracket, the winners between those two
Those are
is
cute.
who's 3rd place. So I think we only do 1st and 2nd place is how I pictured it in my mind. And a big honkin' trophy for those teams. And then we have, the DJ thing set up, what are they called? Like karaoke boxes from Mary Grant.
Yep.
At the Acton Field, and then the final day of tournament, after the final game, we give it out right then and there, handle it after each game, so give us like 30 minutes between each game to kind of
That works.
about the medals and trophies.
Trophies. So 1st and 2nd for total, or 1st and 2nd for every grade?
1st and 2nd for every grade.
Okay.
Total, I don't know how you would do that.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. Okay, so we can work on that too. Does everybody like that idea for the end of season for doing like a brunch type deal?
Yep.
So that it's a quick, simple, easy, oh, that's cute. Simple, quick, easy fix for doing something different.
Oh, those are nice.
That's a nice.
Sorry, I didn't see Carissa. Oh, cool. Yeah.
How much is that?
They are
Somebody was giving
22
away
bucks for a
trophies
12 pack.
Okay, I'll look up some too and see. I'll see what we have in
There's all
the,
different ones on Amazon.
I'll look in the garage and then I'll see what we have. We need to get our count before we can really order them though. But the problem is, oh no, if we have our count, we'll have 2 weeks to get them in, so we should get them.
I mean,
Yeah,
even just doing
only
a
problem is we
single
can't do engraving.
one. I don't think you need to have the engraving.
No.
No, okay.
You could just put.
Oh wait, if
you
that
could
plate
just
comes
put
off, I can engrave it on my, oh, I wouldn't
Yeah,
be able
but
to
you could
engrave
even
it.
just put tournament winner or whatever, you know.
Acton
you don't-
tournament,
Right,
first
Acton
place.
tournament
Oh, yeah, Acton,
2022.
that's true. Okay.
Second tournament winner, yeah. That's a nice one.
That's a good idea.
First
And that's only
place,
$7.
Yeah.
Acton
Books.
Tourney 2022. Okay. All right, perfect. That one's cool, I like that. Okay, it's Mary Grant. Mary Grant pumpkin carving is on the 23rd, so it's the day after our last day, end of season. They wanted us to do the haunted walk and some games.
That's 1 to 4, right?
Yep, it's 1 to 4 on the 23rd.
So who's going for that?
That's what I wanted to find out, who's available.
Is there a rain date as well?
I don't think they gave a rain date, because the following weekend is trunk or treat.
Our neighbor Linda Leck is on that board,
Yes.
so I always try to go to we always try to go to the Mary Grant stuff just to support them.
I gotta talk to Dan, because Dan also said that they might be able to come help us at the tournament weekend.
I should
so I'm
be
gonna
able
double check.
to, and I could probably get Haley
Perfect,
help too.
perfect.
I'll be there, Batman's coming, as a confirmed.
Maybe we can
Dress
help.
up?
Huh?
So are we dressing up?
Ooh,
We
that'd
can,
be fun.
it's the haunted walk.
Just from my observation of this last picnic, first of all, I think we were supposed to get more numbers than we did, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, because we
But
had so many people that were like, yeah, it'd be awesome.
the second thing is setting out games and just kind of being like, whatever. The kids want to go walk and climb trees and just beat kids.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're gonna do pumpkin carving, that's like an organized event, we keep the kids together. And we do kind of how we envision for field days. I think
Stages.
we approach this with a better organization attempt and be like, these 3 things are gonna happen, pumpkin carving and then apple bobbing.
Yeah, I was gonna think like the donuts, like get some of the mini donuts or something, and they can do the bobbing with the
But we
donuts.
start at a certain time and we move the kids through together, the parents are participating, everyone's central, and then after that you let,
Like having an agenda.
yeah.
So I don't think
Start with the haunted walk, come back, do a pumpkin carving,
And then do the donut eating
and then do the
contest.
donut, and
I
then,
would just like them to have a more successful event.
Yeah, so I think with, I wouldn't do the apple bobbing anymore, at least not right now, because, oh, I know,
That's the
I
only
know.
thing that came to mind.
Well, that's something that I would love to see come back, but with the whole COVID thing and now probably half the school having COVID
That's
again.
not what I was seriously suggesting, just.
Oh, I know, I know.
So whatever
Donut
3
is
things we
good.
I know,
come
I
up
love the
with.
donut, you can get the little tiny
Well, we
donuts, and you
did
can get the
that,
strings and just change them out all the time.
We did that with, for our COVID Halloween, because we couldn't go out with COVID, you know, with COVID being around. And, me and the kids did all different, we cooked up a ton of spaghetti and hid all like these, Halloween ears and stuff, and they had to dig through and try to find stuff out of it. It was all sorts of different fun stuff that we did on Halloween, and that's,
But, another game that we found that kids loved too is if we have somebody that can donate some hay
hay.
bales. Whew, I'm good at this.
scarecrow making.
Candy.
Well, we can do scarecrow making, or we
That's a
can
great
do,
idea.
if you, have your hay out, you hide candy in it, and they only have like 30 seconds to find all the candy.
Nice, love that.
So there's that game, we could do a scarecrow
There's 3
making.
games right there. Pumpkin carving, scarecrow, then candy and the hay.
Clothes.
So we could, if we do the scarecrow
Or
making,
something if.
oh my gosh, I would love to do
I
pin.
mean,
Well, and have a contest at the end of the scarecrow making, you know, contest.
Yeah,
So
that's-
whoever created
We
a
judge-
scarecrow,
we
like, don't
judge
have
it,
it, you know,
You
have
can do
it and
mummies?
then,
Just say it again.
Mummies
Yeah, whatever.
with toilet paper?
Yeah.
yeah, toilet paper each other.
Yep, so you do a contest, you've got like 2 minutes to do like the best mummy or whatever it is.
So just minimal effort on our part. We just banged out 4 ideas. We bring the supplies for it.
Good.
We have some sort of organization for the kids being shuttled through it. Take like an hour to do it, and that's just a night and day better event in my opinion.
Yeah.
Can we do it in like, so just thinking about how trunk or treat went, actually, because we had, the problem was it was inside with trunk or treat at the school. and we did that, we shuttled on each thing, and it was just a cluster.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
So maybe we can do like groups, do this one, and then just switch them maybe? Because that was insane.
Whatever
It was-
numbers we get, we'll
like,
adjust on the
we'll
fly.
Yeah, because like, it was just a cluster at Trunk or Treat.
Okay.
At the end.
Perfect, so there's that one.
Well, people are probably more inclined to come too if they see the agenda, like, oh, this looks like a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we can, are you guys okay
Even
if I
they're
put?
like, oh, hey, I wanna do 2 of those, so I'm definitely
Yeah.
going, you know, it's not just
What,
posting.
so if I put out, I'm gonna do donut eating contest,
The kids would love mummies.
They're doing a movie too.
mummies, they are doing a movie?
They are doing a movie, Hocus Pocus, I think, and they're doing.
We are, so we have to make sure we can get, straw before we can definitely say yes to the scarecrow.
I'm sure we can,
It's trying to find somebody that has straw that we can get.
I mean, I'm sure I can
think the
literally
mummies
post
is
on Facebook.
fine. Like, we don't have to do the scarecrow stuffing.
That's
It would be fun to do that,
Oh,
You
do we
can
have,
stuff the paper with, you know, tons of newspapers.
does anybody still get newspapers? Where could we go to get the
I have a
leftovers?
ton at my house, I mean, not enough but I mean, I'm sure if we put out a post that we're looking for either hay or
But we could
newspapers.
get newspapers at the transfer station, right? Just dig
Oh,
them
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so scarecrow contest with newspaper?
Yeah.
But what else do we, how do you build a scarecrow? We would
You just
like.
ball it and you stick it in the clothing?
old Clothes.
yeah, I would say I have a ton of clothes at my house that are just sitting in the yard sale pile,
So
so
do
I
we.
can.
Making,
I can.
So we have, okay, 'cause
Yeah.
that's what.
okay, because I wanna
Size
post,
clothing too, so we can just throw it out and people
Yeah.
can pick what they wanna pick for
Yeah.
their outfits.
so what I'll write is, when I write up something, I'll do donut eating contest, mummies, scarecrow making, and more. So if we come up with other options, we have them. That way it'll kind of show people that we're gonna have some games. We'll bring all of the prizes again, that way we have those again.
Oh, the prizes, yeah.
Yeah.
We get a ton of those.
I've got some Halloween prizes.
Oh, that'd be
from
awesome.
When we
The
did,
Prizes were a hit.
when we did, what do you call it?
Yeah, we brought the prizes
We
to the
did our
last Mary
COVID
Grant one
Halloween,
too.
I
you
had
did?
bought a
Yeah.
ton of stuff and.
Any of the kids that
realized I
showed up
bought way too
got to take
much.
something from the box.
Kids love prizes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that.
That's what it is.
Christmas tree lighting, so I wanted to let you guys all know as well, so after we had our food drive, and I was over there talking with Karen, we were just kind of hanging out, chatting and whatnot, and I actually asked them, so in the past, they said that we used to borrow the space over in the church. Well, Karen had made the comment that they haven't had a good turnout lately with getting younger generations. Most of their people that go there are older generation at this point, so they don't really have many young. So they're trying to find different ways and avenues to be able to get more people to come in, and feel like they're more invited in. So I actually asked them, well, I said, I know in the past, the rec has asked to borrow the use of your church for various activities, and she said yes, and I said, well, this year, instead of us borrowing your church for this, would you guys be willing to possibly join us and do something in your church? We can come together with a list of activities between the two organizations. You guys can do some in there, we'll do some, down here, you guys can set up and make it very warm and inviting to come in. And she goes, that would be amazing. And she said that we'd probably even, if we did something food-wise, we'd probably even be able to use some of the food bank as well. Whether they had to buy it from the food bank or not, she said that you could get it for really discounted pricing as well, but that way it also helps to rotate some of the inventory that's not moving. She said they would probably definitely be able to do like hot chocolate and all of that as well, so we can have some warm things offered in here as well as some activities in here, but not make it too clustered together per se. They can have some things offered up there with a warm place to go, with different activities, and then we can have some stuff on the outside that'll be combination. Mary Grant might join us as well. So it'll at least be 2 to 3 organizations kind of working together instead of just one. And being in the big parking lot that's combined, I thought it would be best to have them involved as well. So that's kind of that, so it looks like we'll have more people. They're having a meeting in October over Zoom, because they had one, but I wasn't able to go, because the girls had a birthday party. So I'm going to join them in the Zoom meeting, and I'll talk with them more that day, and then I'll be able to bring to you guys what is.
Let's start hashing out the ideas on that meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
What we want to do.
Yep, and then I'll be able to bring it, so I think that meeting is either I think it might be on, is it the 4th? It's coming up. So I can't remember if it's next weekend or the weekend after, so it'll either be right before our next meeting or just after our next meeting. So I'll be able to bring it to you guys in October to let you know what is done there. where are we at with the donations for that?
So I've got 100 cookies donated so far, for the kids to decorate.
Nice.
I got a bunch, Family Dollar donated a bunch of paintbrushes, and they're gonna keep an eye out what they penny out for me. They have my number. So what they do before, they just throw them out when they penny stuff out. So I talked to my friend that works there, and she's gonna keep them for me instead of throwing them out. So like the craft stuff and stuff like that. We've got Aroma Joe's by Walmart. They're gonna donate either hot coffee or hot cocoa for us. So we have to go pick that up. So I have that. And then Shaw's and Hannaford are each gonna donate a gift card. So whatever we need to buy for that.
Cool.
I'm talking to the Dollar Tree. You have to go through corporate, Dollar Tree to get donations. So I'm gonna send that over to get like, cause they have like packs of craft stuff. So I'm working on that and, just started getting donations coming in, so all the cookies are set.
Good job.
Perfect.
We think more than 100 cookies?
Yes.
Okay, so
So what are we getting for cookies?
they're making like sugar cookies, and then we're gonna get stuff to decorate them for the kids.
Are they iced already, or we're
No.
making the icing and we're getting
like
base
the-
cookie and they can put whatever?
Yeah, they can put
icing.
whatever they want on it. Yeah, and that's all gonna be donated.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
a nice idea.
So I think 200 cookies should be good.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
Would hope so. Would hope so.
I mean, there's gonna be some breakage, so.
Yeah.
You know, someone's pressing too hard.
Yeah.
We don't
Quality
want our ears.
testing, quality testing.
Yeah, TJ.
Good, Jordan donating her time
Oh,
Oh,
Jordan.
yeah, she's gonna do,
for her business.
yep, she's gonna do some bookmark making with some kids.
Bookmark mate, and she said she'd also, we'll do cutouts of, different shapes and everything, like Christmassy shapes that
perfect.
that they can color and we can laminate right on the spot.
Okay, so we don't have to do that then.
So-
So that'll be like the ornament making.
We just need somebody to volunteer to read the story to the kids, because they always get a comfy chair and read the story.
We'll have to see if they're going to do that. We're
Okay.
gonna do it in here, or if they're gonna find a cozy spot in the church and do it.
So we gotta just that.
So,
Santa or Santa's wife could do it.
What's the
They
story?
usually read like the night before Christmas, and the kids all sit around the comfy chair and somebody reads it in here or whatever, where the kids are decorating, you know?
well, the other thing too is if Elise can come, maybe we can have that set up in the library.
Oh, she can, yeah, she
Oh,
can
that
read the
would be
story.
nice.
Yeah, I can talk to Elise. I got a meeting with Elise about some stuff, so I can talk to Elise.
So cheerleading, we went over.
Yeah.
Wrestling, I wanted to just do a quick vote. So when I went to the board meeting, they wanted us to pick our top 4, I think, 3 or 4, events that we would like to add to our schedule of everything. And they wanted us to stick more to sports than anything else. So
Yep.
they were cutting my feet off on that one. Like, so, with that, I told them that, you know, wrestling was on the board, that we really wanted to see if that was a possibility, make sure it was a go before, you dedicated all your time to doing all of the research behind on it. So what we need to do is just do a quick vote, on a few different things. I didn't have very many of them on here, so there's wrestling, flag football, yoga, and any other thoughts that people had.
You've got this on.
The self-defense class was another one that was on there, but I was thinking of asking Mary Grant if they want to do it, because it's not considered a sport.
It'd be a lot.
Because I really want it, but
Yeah, but it's been offered by the library.
and the library doesn't want, the library was not doing it again.
I have her booked for Sunday Veterans Weekend, because that's what she can do is November, for the same company, and it's $40 per person, you need 20 people.
But we need
I mean,
to,
she's fantastic and she's worth the $40.
Yeah, she is definitely, but if you take the class before, you don't have to pay again.
okay, so I guess we can, we'll throw that here, otherwise we can ask another group if they want to do it. But it's not considered a sport, so I don't know if the board will allow me to do it.
So I had this crazy idea.
Yep.
First of all, make flag football first. I've had so many boys specifically ask me about football. Luke is a football nut, so I've got some people from SSYA that actually want to help with football too with us, because that's their sport, so.
Jeff Adams from Lebanon was offering to help.
And Jeff,
Yep.
because he's big so make baseball a little bit sooner, and then have tumbling start around the time-ish that baseball's ending, and then we run flag football concurrent with the tumbling stuff. We're both utilizing the field at the same time. the boys, because it's, let's be honest, it's mostly boys interested in flag football, but I would never say no to a girl playing it for sure. And I'd hope to be pleasantly surprised if a bunch of girls
That
want
would
to
be-
play flag football.
Say there's 2 girls on the Massabesic football team.
There you go.
High school football team.
So that we have
That's impressive.
we have an option for what seems to be mostly girls for tumbling and what will most likely be mostly boys for flag football. Have them run at the same time and we do it.
That would help with
Like
households that have girls
July
and boys.
and, July and August?
Is that when it ran?
That was when, I think we did July and August, yeah.
Then yeah.
Okay.
And I'll hook up with some people from SSYA, John may help, and we'll have like 4 or 5 football coaches and we can run basically what would be a camp in my mind and then 1 or 2 scrimmages between whatever ages we get at the end as well.
Is flag football no contact?
Yeah, no contact, you just yank the flag. There's inevitably people running.
I mean, yeah, no, yeah, no.
It's
I
not
know.
tackling.
Yeah,
That would also, if we do July and August, that'll also be able to be put on the budget so that we can plan on, if we don't have any left over from this year's budget, we can plan on using the budget money to be able to purchase whatever we need the very first.
Yeah.
Because we probably wouldn't start it until like the second or so week of July anyways.
okay.
Baseball's done by then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, baseball's ends the end of June.
As it is.
It's before July 4th.
Okay, okay.
Worry
I
about.
just don't want to have a million things on.
No, that way it's just the ones,
I don't remember what day it was exactly.
yeah, it was before July 4th.
Yeah, it was
It was, yeah, it was
Don't
well
want their
before.
kid.
I think it was like June 20th or something like that.
And her as well.
I don't either. Connor's been bet, and I was like,
To be clear, we'd advertise it as like a camp versus a league. It'd be-
Yeah.
Okay.
Flag football camp,
Yeah, skills and drills.
Better.
How, okay.
For that?
possible
Yeah.
scrimmages, but not like,
Yeah, it'd be a regular sport.
like
$20.
each other.
Yeah, it'd be the 20. Oh, speaking of the charges, I did talk with the board as well. So on our forms that we have that go to parents, it always has, the late fee for registering on it. It's $10 if you register after the deadline, blah, blah, blah. I asked them, I said, can we void that out? Can we get rid of that? Because honestly, I always tell people, as long as you're signing up and there's still a practice left and it's not just the last game, I'd rather see the kid get out there for one practice than not at all. And sorry to you coaches, because
No, it's
I'm the one
fine.
that throws them at you guys.
I've never had a problem with late kids coming, maybe some other coaches do. I think the purpose of it wasn't to nickel and dime people, because we're clearly not really.
No, and I had.
More like a penalty and an incentive for people to get it in on time versus anything else, so.
Yeah, it was an incentive to get it in on time, but we always have the people that miss the cutoff and then they think that they still can't sign up, like Sanford, they have the cutoff and you cannot sign up after the cutoff.
I see both sides of it. I would be
Forgetful moms like
okay.
me.
Yeah, right?
So I mean, I've had some moms that reached out to me, I just missed it, can I still? Absolutely, you know, so they are okay with us getting rid of that because they haven't, the town says they haven't actually charged that in years, so to get rid of it. And I also brought up about charging, differences between our Acton residents and other residents, and they were kind of on the same page that I was with. I don't really find a need for it because we're here for the kids. I know the taxpayers pay the taxes on the land and that, however, this is additional income that's coming from other towns anyways, for their kids to come play, because sometimes we have sports that we don't have enough of our own kids, that we need these other kids.
I don't know who mentioned that that was like a big deal with
Lori.
parents.
Lori had brought that up at the last meeting. So all in favor of doing flag football?
Aye.
Perfect, all. So then we have, so if we can do, so this is, flag football was number 1 on our list, right?
Wrestling and then flag football.
Well, no, for the order.
Oh, yeah.
So then we have wrestling, yoga, self-defense, and if there was anything else that anybody had that they wanted to throw out, or if we wanted to kind of let that linger for now.
Let's let that linger. Wrestling happens at the same time as basketball,
yeah, it's not looking like it's gonna be doable.
and I'm gonna probably be the only coach, and I don't know, like,
So do you want to bow out of that idea for now, we'll
I
revisit
wanna
next
bow
year?
out of it, not out of lack of desire, trust me. That was
Well,
my
you've
number
got
one
lots
sport
of-
growing up. I've got a lot of time and my life invested in wrestling, and I think I would do great with it.
Yeah.
However, it's a contact sport, it's very physical. The interest is very secular, like the boys that are into it are really into it. There's no middle ground, like soccer, you have kids just out there to be out there to
Yeah.
be friends. You're either in it to win it in wrestling or you are not, and it's between it being a contact sport and all the liabilities that are just running through my mind. I wasn't thinking of that before. And now, coaching 2 seasons of basketball and soccer and seeing all the issues that have come up that I never foresaw,
Yeah.
I'm feeling more and more icky about the thought of
Okay.
leading wrestling. Like, I'm foreseeing like just so many issues coming up, like,
Okay.
oh, my kid got hurt and why didn't you see that? And I'm just like, oh, I don't want to deal with any of that.
We can revisit it next year,
Yeah.
if that works. Yoga, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because we had it for kids and we could do it also for adults.
I would join that.
You do it?
Sounds great.
Okay, can I get a second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yep.
So that would be in January. She said she's gonna do it for 4 weeks to start off with, on a Tuesday after school for 45 minutes. And she's gonna focus on like simple yoga, not like, you know, hardcore. So it's just for kids and adults that wanna join in the back. And it's, she's not charging anything, so,
Is this after school?
after school.
In the gym?
Oh, no, after school, so we'll have to see if we can do it
Yeah,
here.
in here,
Okay.
yeah.
So we'll have to nail down times and whatnot, but I have to make sure the
Yeah.
board is okay with it now that
Yeah.
we've had our discussion.
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Since we're pushing off on the wrestling for now, that gives us flag football, because we had, gymnastics okayed by the selectmen, I was able to kind of push that one under. We were going to do gymnastics, however, yeah, we're going to push gymnastics out, because with basketball starting, she doesn't want to do gymnastics and cheer at the same time, I can't understand why. So we're going to just do cheerleading, and then we can do gymnastics again, we'll kind of merge gymnastics, tumbling, and cheerleading, we'll kind of rotate 3 throughout the year. So the next one would be self-defense.
I'm for it. I think it's, in this day and age, we
You need it?
need it.
I need it.
Okay, all in favor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I want you to go.
What's that?
I want you to come.
Okay.
It's because it's just good. Me and Hope had a blast.
We did, it was, the woman was just fantastic.
So much fun with Bob.
Self-defense is concealed carry.
Paranoid, but just be aware.
And she came home.
And you get a zapper, so
Yeah.
if it gets out of line. I gotta tell you, it hurts.
I mean, you just had what just happened in Sanford.
I know.
yeah, so, well, that happens every year too. Okay,
It was
quick-
just somebody that
Put a kid's one for.
jumped out of their car
On the
and
agenda for, like, later
started
on.
beating on a 17-year-old in the car behind him.
if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do both.
No, at the same time though.
No,
Thankfully, the kid
okay.
had
I just wanted to make sure, because it's two different things.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
Wow.
Kid.
So Carissa, we're gonna do a kids one too, okay?
So I'm gonna
yes.
present them with that. Okay, so then,
Instructor for that, or?
yes.
Okay, cool.
She gives, so it's $40 and you get to take home an awesome pepper spray. So what it does is if you have to spray the person, it's like a dye, so then the police can identify who you sprayed.
Very nice. Yeah.
Not only just the red eyes, but now.
Right, and you have a dye.
Okay, so 2 more things really quick before we wrap up. TJ brought up a very valid point and a great idea that we would have to look at for budget-wise for next year. Where we have a hard time getting umpires and refs, especially where we're trying to do more travel and we're having more teams come to us, we need to make sure that we have somebody out there ready to go. So the idea is, I want to look into, can you actually look in and see if you can see what they normally would get paid? If we do have like a regular ref that we
Yeah,
get hired
Zach,
on?
he's the.
They probably get 20
director
bucks
over
a
there.
game, something like that.
How much?
20 bucks a game?
That sounds about right, because I got paid 10 bucks a game when I was a kid, so I think 20 would be.
So somebody owes me 20
know.
bucks.
So what I'd like to do is I need to present that to the board because I don't know, we'll have to see what their thoughts are on that, but
Yeah, please.
especially when they know that we're getting more towns to come to us and then we're going to them, we need to make sure that we have that professionality looking, going on.
I already dealt with, I had 3 parents chirping in my ears yesterday about a midfield rule, where you do a penalty kick from the goal, or a goal kick, that the team has to back all the way up to the midfield. And then Jenny's dad looked it up on his phone and he was like, no, that's not true. And he wanted to go in on him. He had the restraint not to. So then their coach and 3 parents were like, hey, what are you doing? And I looked it up with him and I was like, that's not true. But I was like, let's just compromise with them. That's okay. It would be helpful to have trained refs, know what the
Yes.
rules are 100%. We put up a united front. If parents are chirping, which they will, we have refs handle it, and they're like,
Yeah.
we know the rules, and I'm sorry if this, we'll talk about it after, but this is what it is. So I also want to talk about getting if there's a main regulated agency for training refs, we do like a ref boot camp for either all the sports at once or the sport beforehand, get these refs trained up for, I'm imagining like a high school level.
You can get commitment to do a season.
I would say, and
Yeah.
sign, have them,
High school
you know, if it's
level,
high school stuff, have them
early
sign that
20s.
they are expected,
And
so.
we're counting on you, and when you don't show, it's a problem. And that's something that these kids haven't learned yet.
If we can't get
Seen that across the board.
I think we can pay for it organically too.
Yeah.
Some of the snack fund that we.
But they won't let me, yeah, I would like to, but they won't let me without, because I'm not allowed to take any money out of there, because originally it was the idea, okay, with what we've just raised.
Yeah.
It would be nice to just take from that and go get the groceries that we need to restock it. And that way we're doing one deposit and giving the slips in, but I'm not allowed to do that.
Okay.
It has to get all turned in, and then they have to cut a check out.
Makes sense.
So it's the paper trail.
Yep.
So with that,
If we can't get a main reffing agency to train for these different sports, me, John, and James will do our best. We'll fake it till we make it. We've got a gist of 90% of the rules, so either way.
Do we have,
You could print out soccer rules or baseball, you know,
That's
just,
what I-
and run through the list.
That's what I've been doing, is just
Yeah, I
looking.
mean, that's.
and it would be nice to be across the board, like you had talked about, be across the board with the other towns too.
Yes.
So knowing what all of their rules and regulations are, so that we can follow
Can we
suit.
get like a book for the coaches, or?
I should look into that.
Yeah, make a coach book per.
do we
Right,
have
but
somebody
I
for
also think that
tomorrow?
it shouldn't be
Do we
one
have
of
someone for
us,
tomorrow?
one of our coaches
tomorrow?
who's
I already
doing.
have.
I didn't hear back.
No, I know, I meant like a book, like for,
I said worst case scenario, I'm gonna ref this time and then you'll coach and we're
You're
just gonna have
thinking
to
about like
flip-flop.
print
Yeah, so
out
it-
all the rules.
yeah, so somebody has
It
it.
wasn't,
Yeah.
I think
So they
that
can
should be
refer
part
back.
of the,
Yesterday.
like, if we print
Got
them
me some
ourselves
exercise.
right here.
For
Yeah.
coaching, yeah.
All of our coaches that sign up should automatically
No,
get it.
no, definitely. We've had,
It shouldn't be us, you know,
No.
policing. the-
No.
it should be,
We had
you
a
know,
teenager do it, right, last time?
Independent.
Who was it?
Last
we had
week was
Lexi last-
Lexi last year.
Yeah, it was
This is for older kids anyway, right? The younger kids, it's not.
First through
recommended.
second grade, I think is the cutoff, like the coaches
Yeah.
are, because it's such a teaching, it's half
It's
teaching,
teaching.
half
yeah,
ref.
they're on the
Yeah.
field with them.
Yeah, okay,
Starting
good.
around third and fourth, I
It's
think
third and
is
fourth when you get into it, yeah, okay.
Okay.
I was confused.
One last thing, because we're already at that cutoff.
Okay, sorry.
Music camp with Terry. So Terry Minahan had reached out to me. Usually every year, she always, pre-COVID, she used to do a play at the Acton Elementary School. She said they usually reach out to her in October. I'm not sure why she's reaching out to us already. She just thought it would be a great idea to offer through the rec. I wanted to make sure the school didn't want to do something with her prior to us doing it first, but I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. She said that she would be looking to do the 5 Tuesdays in November, and it would be focusing on the gingerbread man, and this would be for pre-KK aged kids. She can do as little as 10 kids, as many as 30 kids.
If someone else is running it, sure, let's go.
We would just need to give her the space, and then it would be $10 a kid, so we would have to go through the board and see if the board was good for that.
I love when people
Experience
step
for
up and run
kids,
stuff.
so yeah,
It's great.
I mean.
Yep.
Okay.
Can we get
is it
them
here?
to perform for the tree lighting ceremony? I assume this is like a 15 or 20-minute skit.
Oh, yeah, it's 12-1, 12-2, or 12-3, so yeah, because 12-3 is what we're
Great
doing for the
idea.
tree lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be perfect, actually.
And good experience for her, I mean, good
build up-
getting her name out there too.
Something else for the kids to focus on, so they can watch the little
Yeah.
play, and then they can, you know, now they're kind of calm, and then we go.
That kind of
Oh,
guarantees.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that does guarantee.
Okay.
And sugar them up.
Okay, so I will talk to, so she said she would need to do $10 a kid, so that each kid could get a shirt and a hat. So yeah, I will bring that up to the board as well. Can I get a second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
But we're not getting money from this, she's charging and she's collecting the money.
She'd be collecting the money. It would be nothing, I mean, we could do the $10 per kid, and then we can cut her a check or the $20 per kid, like we do for all of the sports, for them to join it, or we can just do, because theoretically, it's 5 weeks, it's the same thing as any of
I
the
think we have
sports.
enough fundraising. that
Yeah.
we
It's
don't-
not a fundraiser. It would be.
No, I'm saying
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't need to cut into her at all, was
Oh,
my,
no. If we did that as a regular program that we offered.
Yeah.
It would be $20 a person to join.
gotcha.
So if we did the $20 per person, 10 would stay with the rec, the other 10 would go to her. She's not charging. It would be the $10 that we could actually purchase the shirts and that for her.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it kind of alleviates that middleman where we're not actually paying her, so she doesn't have to worry about the insurance aspect.
the whole issue is though, she's getting the $10, right? She's having us make the shirts as our business, so she would lose that money, but I don't know how.
She's not making any money.
No, I know, okay, so she's not charging anything?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
And
Okay.
personally, all I would charge is just to make sure that we have the vinyl in the shirts.
No, I know.
If we're making them.
No, I know. It's a different thing.
I was confused, I got it now.
Yeah, she just told me this morning, oh yeah, by the way. I'm like, huh?
Well, I didn't know she was doing it through the rec.
So
Like, by the way,
before,
we have 30 shirts to make.
before we close, Jim brought up Dasco Signs. If you want to solicit a free sign from them, he said they might be willing to play ball.
Oh, Dasco?
Yeah, Dasco Signs, DASCO, they're like a veteran.
Oh, I know.
They do a lot of stuff for vets, it sounds like, so
Yeah.
between that and it being a community thing, we might be able to get a free sign from them.
So we've got, are you guys the only vets on the, nobody else is vets, right? No? I'm gonna throw your names under the,
Go for it,
we've got 2 veterans that are on our board.
go for it.
Jim Driscoll said that?
The guy that followed me to the field.
Oh, Joe.
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 yeah.
Okay, I can reach out to Dasco then. Did you guys get to work that out?
Yeah, he talked to me for a good hour about where we're putting everything and how we should do it. And I took notes and just gotta execute.
Well played.
I had to run away. I'm like, see ya.
I saw that.
Awesome.
TJ.
Maybe a little bit. Perfect. So 10/7, 4 PM is what we will look at to try to book the next meeting on. And then also coming, if we look out about a month, in October, is there a Sunday that works better for others?
We can't do the 23rd because of the thing.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. And then we have the tournament, the 16th and the 17th.
Do we want to get together maybe Halloween weekend, that Monday morning, or that Sunday morning, the 30th? Trunk or treat will be that, oh no, trunk or treat's the 29th or the 30th?
29th.
Okay, so as far as I know, there's nothing else going on. We have nothing for the rec that weekend.
Okay.
So then we can kind of go over everything?
Yeah.
So I'll look at the
We're
30th,
gonna go over what needs to be done for the tournament.
The 7th,
the
right?
7th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to circle back and make sure that we have tons of volunteers. If you want to put out a brunch, we need
Yes,
we need
for the 22nd.
farriers, we need
Parking attendants.
servers, we need parking.
Everything.
Oh, no, this is for the end of season ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that one we will, yes.
Talking about the tournament, okay.
Oh, we were just bossing people around and we just took liberties on the basketball court and.
Yeah.
I mean, the tournament,
That
we
was
Worked out, it was
okay.
Well,
good.
the tournament, thankfully, we're gonna have the entire school parking lot.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
They can park anywhere at
We have
school.
the circle, we have the lots.
Yeah, they just can't park, the only place they won't be able to park is where the buses load the students on and off.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna stick the
And on the
buses.
grass.
And on the grass.
We need to put cones.
But they're gonna
There's cones
have,
everywhere.
aside from the 3 vans that are right there, which I might be able to move just inside the fence again, where we usually park them over winter and that, I can probably move the vans there, so we should only have probably the white bus that's in that area, which I
You
might be
already have
able
the
to.
spot roped off for where you want the food trucks?
So the food truck,
There's a food truck and the Kona Ice, right? So there's
Yeah.
2 different trucks?
so what he had talked to me, and he said that the dirt road that goes up next to it, so when you go to the bus lot, there's that rope across, that dirt road goes all the way back to the soccer fields.
Okay.
So they should be able to go down that dirt road and park. As long as they stay on the dirt and they don't go on the grass, we're good to go. He doesn't want a bunch of cars parking back there.
Okay.
So we'll probably, once they do that, we'll leave the rope across again, and then the cars can park all, but people should be able to figure out parking. If we can do a full open house with 300+ people,
Okay.
I think we should be, or 250-something people, sorry.
I don't think parking would be an issue. Please plead with Mr. Ross about the paint. I will
Yes.
research for a washable paint that goes away
Okay.
quickly. Without lines in soccer, it's chaos.
Yep, I will,
Home though.
Yeah, but even with
yeah,
the paint we have, the circle in the middle of the soccer field's gone. It's been like 2 weeks? So
Less than 2 weeks.
That was
Yeah,
less
it's
than
gone.
2 weeks, it
Usually
was already
a couple-
good.
yeah, that,
That's leftovers.
yeah, that,
And if, when you come out with the mower, I mean, they could probably just shave it right off, right?
yeah, because well, that's just,
Slightly.
Pretty
I was
much.
gonna say, that's just, Andy goes out with the mower. Andy does it right on the tractor. So he's going to be moving the outhouse so that it's set up kind of like what they had for graduation. So that our porta potty that we have for the bus drivers is going to go in the back. So that we'll have a porta potty back there. I did ask about the snack shack prior to the food truck, and they said that that snack shack hasn't been used in years, so it's stored with all old stuff in it. So she's like, I wouldn't do anything in there. I said, okay. Someday she wants to get in there and try to go through it. So at some point, maybe we eventually can use it, but to me, if we don't have to worry about food for a weekend,
Yeah, that would be nice.
what is the times you're thinking? Both for Saturday, Sunday? I know we have to wait until we get all the teams in that, but what,
Make as much as we can on Saturday and then Sunday, like, done before 12.
before 12? Okay, so so Saturday probably like what, 9 to 5?
Something like that.
Okay, so 9 to 5.
So Sunday would be what, the
wrap up.
The
I think-
finals?
I think, yeah, Sunday should be the finals if we can manage it.
Okay.
There might be 2 games for teams on Saturday, like, it's gonna be an all-day Saturday thing, is what I envisioned, but.
Okay, so
Maybe
knockout.
the pre-K and kindergartners just do one game? Or do you think they'd be tired?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably only do one game.
For each littles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't wanna over-invite either. Like, I thought Shapley and 2 other towns might be good.
We have nobody for, well,
It's 6.
we have one team for 5th and 6th for Berwick.
Okay. I can reach out to SSYA and see what their participation is, so.
We'll figure it out.
And then we'll have an odd number for, oh no, because Amanda can divide her,
First and second?
oh no, we have an odd number for pre-K.
Yeah.
Pre-KK, so we need another team to make that work. So we can go over to the field one day too, and you can see what it looks like out back. That way you can get an idea of what you're working with, and then I might even, if you wanna set something up, I can, because you're available during the day, right?
Yeah.
I can see if Christie has a day, a certain time or whatnot, that maybe you can meet us over there, and we can go walk out to the field and we can look.
Sounds good.
I'll reach out to Christie this week and set something up.
On the plan.
Ready to go?
Good.
You guys good?
Great.
End of meeting? Good? Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That was good.